Chernobyl by Landry Lemoine.
And Kaleb.
Before Chernobyl. What was Chernobyl before it was a nuclear disaster?
Chernobyl was first built in 1970, with the fourth reactor being built in 1983.
Chernobyl is a city located north of Kiev, the capital of Ukraine. 116,000 people lived in Chernobyl and its suburbs.
How the plant worked. They used RBMK reactors at the Chernobyl plant, which used enriched uranium-235 fuel to heat water. This heated water turned into steam, which drove turbines and generated electricity.
Design flaws of Chernobyl. Under 20% power supply, the reactor is unstable and should never be that low. Also, there was a shutdown system, but instead of slowing down the explosion, it made it worse. Another flaw is when it was built, the designers didn't put safety precautions to stop any explosion.
Chernobyl, the disaster. At 1 a.m. on April 25th, the workers of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant prepared for a power reduction experiment in case of an instance where there would be low power. The workers lowered the graphite-tipped control rods to prepare for the experiment.
At 1:40 a.m., the emergency core cooling system was turned off. At 11:10 p.m. the same day, power was reduced to a level where it was unmanageable. At 1 a.m. on April 26, the workers had increased the power to the reactor in an attempt to stabilize it. This forced the cooling pumps to go into overtime and to a level that they could not handle.
At 1:19 a.m., the cooling core pumps reached boiling point. The control rods were then raised. At 1:23 a.m., the workers pushed the control rods back into the core of the reactor in an attempt to stop the reactor from exploding. In only 4.5 seconds, the power level of the reactor rose by 2,000%.
The explosion. The elements in the reactor decomposed the little amount of water for cooling into hydrogen and oxygen atoms.
The pressure from the decomposition blew off a 1,000-ton concrete roof off the reactor, which sent burning graphite, molten uranium, and radioactive ashes into the atmosphere. It was rated a 7 out of 7 on the International Nuclear and Radiological Event Scale, or commonly referred to as INES. Aftermath of Chernobyl. Radiation from Chernobyl caused thyroid cancer, among other diseases and mutations. The first country to report signs of unusual amounts of radiation was in Sweden at a nuclear power plant, which had to be shut down.
There were around 300,000 liquidators that had to be put onto the Chernobyl case. From 1986 to 1989, 50% were in their 30s. One of the liquidators, being asked on why he became a liquidator, said, "Someone had to do it."
Effects on life. Radiation spewed out into the environment on the grass and plants, which was eaten by the animals, with them being eaten by humans. Also, the radiation spewed out into the water, which affected the marine life of the area, which also affected the humans. There is now an entire ecosystem of mutated animals that surround Chernobyl and suburbs.
In 1986, Chernobyl became one of the worst nuclear disasters in the history of mankind. This year, the new safe containment was built. It is a $1.6 billion project and weighs over 30,000 tons. It will slide over reactor number 4 in the goal of trapping the radiation from it for the next 100 years. The Ark supported is the largest movable land-based structure ever built, with a span of over 700 feet, a length of over 400 feet, and a height of over 300 feet.